decide you're ready?
For consumables also, especially these high-tech consumables.
Sure.
Unless we follow a very well-defined process of concept to commercialization, it can be a complete disaster.
True.
So we have a well-defined process on the one hand, and on the other hand we have very well designed and sophisticated testing apparatus in-house. So to start at the end, we never release a product unless it's been completely perfected and proven to be fail-safe, not only in usage but in manufacturing, in terms of consistency, in terms of amount of wastage, all of those things. So a lot goes before the first product is sold. Group of conceptualizers who identify the idea. It can be cross-functional. So that's stage one. Then there is the development group that is put together, who work on it. And that development group at the next stage is expanded to also include people outside TechNova, who would be development partners. For example, the vendors. You need certain kinds of raw materials to be developed. So they need to tweak their raw materials. The vendors are involved. Machinery manufacturers, customizations, production machines, so they would be involved. Certainly key customers would be involved to give their ideas and test the products, alpha site, beta site. So that's the whole development stage. And at each stage we have printing machines, of course plate setters, printing machines, everything is done in-house as far as plates are concerned. For media, there is a whole application lab where it's tested out. So in-house testing is done. But the challenge is consistency of, once you've defined the process, the manufacturing group takes over. And they've got to make sure that the manufacturing processes are totally consistent. The biggest problem, if I may say so, with Indian products is lack of consistency. Number one. And other one is lack of availability on time. So if it's consistent, it's not on time or not just in time. And if it's inconsistent, it's easily available, but it's inconsistent. So we didn't want to fall into either of the traps. So capacity planning has to be done before we launch the product. So in theory, this is supposed to happen. In practice, are there shortcuts? Maybe there are. There's always temptation to take shortcuts.
There's a big difference in output and quality of printed material if it is taken out by a skilled personnel. So training is also one of the important subjects while you hand over the machine. And it had been a problem also. Very worst come, you blame the machine. True. But simple thing, cleaning of rubber rollers after we finish the job in the evening is essential. It's a simple thing. We don't have to tell even a child. But there are places where you don't care. So as you said rightly, there was definitely lack of trained printers, talented, I would say. Even in newspaper field, I know more that with few exceptions, when they change over from letterpress to offset, is an inhuman task to mesh registration, this, that, underpacking. There's so many things. And ultimately, blame will come on the machine. You tighten something more, it will break. So, all these things were very important, and we had to retain our people, even additional time for training purposes. So that phase, transition period, from letterpress to offset, that period was very important for us. And that plays a very important part. Even today I would say. Because it's a changing always. It's not the same machine.
True.